Okay, so we're starting by looking at Wuthering Heights, and we are on the fourth, I guess technically fourth page that starts with her husband's money, and we're going to go to just before the last paragraph, at the about midnight. So if we remember, when we're thinking about rhythm, we're looking at all of the ways that a character's, their dialogue, their interactions with each other, and the fluctuations and the changes between them. So let's start with Nellie right here. And I like Nellie's conversations, and I'll kind of point out both of them. They offer a contrast to Catherine because Nellie speaks at the beginning and the ending, which on the surface might seem like, oh, she's controlling the pacing because I told you to think about that. But then you want to think about the actual words within there. So her conversation, she doesn't give herself much. She said that there's no description as to how she talks, but rather it's a focus on more of a chiding, sort of a chiding tone. She's unforgiving, and she begins with a claim she keeps without reflection, and I'm going to just call that REF. Okay, so that's how we can understand Nellie's character based on the rhythm of her conversation. It's a question, it's statements, it's very assertive, but it's not a lot of reflection. So let's look at the counter, which is actually Catherine. And then she is a retorted she. It is not, it is the best. I like that short, let's pay attention to just her sentences. The short sentence to begin. It's not, it is the best. We have those two ideas. The others were satisfactions of my whims, colon, for Edgar's sake too, to satisfy him. So it's sort of a building progression. And you see that change as she's moving from one initial claim, now she's going to give some evidence. This is for the sake of one who comprehends his person, in his person, my feelings to Edgar and myself. I cannot express it, but surely you and everybody have notions that there should be some existence beyond you. So I like her rhythm changes too. She fluctuates, and I'll just kind of changes between specific to her case to general claim, because she begins to talk about the soul. I love her repetition in here. We have a rhetorical question. She brings it back to Nellie without giving her time to answer. The miseries. So she has that nice little element of balance and repetition. She has her culminating idea, if all else perish and he remains. We have the contrasting, perished versus remained. So she embraces, and I'll write that down, contrast, both repetition of an idea and a sense of contrast, which sort of alludes to the big aspect of her problem and her claim, that this is bigger than just her. That goes back to this general, specific to general. So she broadens that. I would still continue, and then if all else remained and annihilated, again, keeping that opposition. I told you to look at syntax and just kind of take a notice of what you see to change the rhythm. That fluctuation of ideas really helps fine-tune and finesse her coming to an idea, her development of her argument. Mighty stranger. Sorry, I should not seem a part of it. My love for Linton is like the foliage. I mentioned looking at similes. So we have a simile right here. What's great about it is she clarifies why that matters. So again, it keeps a sort of logical tone to this really sort of almost illogical assertion and idea. As I'm well aware, as winter changes trees. My love for Heathcliff resembles eternal rock. So this one is not like a thing, but rather she changes her rhythm even in her comparison, because this just becomes a straight analogy. And that analogy then offers more of the complexity of it. So if this is like something, this is an actual thing. And that's interesting for her relationship when we think about how she feels about Heathcliff versus Linton. And then she clarifies it more, a source of little visible delight, but necessary. So, that's so great. I love, great love. Nellie, I am Heathcliff. She shifts her rhythm again, and this becomes that short claim, but it's a necessary claim. He's always, always, we have that repetition again, in my mind, not as a pleasure any more than I'm a pleasure to myself, again, with the repetition of ideas, but as my own being. So don't talk of our separation. Again, it is impractical. And I love this kind of tailored off idea because it's such a passionate and personal statement. But then it's so nicely countered. She has this dramatic action, and then we get this return to reality, which counters emotions. So then that's what we get the relationship with the characters. If Catherine is all emotion, Nellie is that sense of reality. And that is what they both struggle to understand within each other. Nellie wants the realism. Catherine wants the passion and makes her struggle a little more interesting. Okay, so remember, close reading, slow down, rhythm, you're just looking at the actual words, but you're slowing down. You don't necessarily ever need to say the author uses rhythm, but you can discuss how the rhythm changes within a conversation, thus affecting the presentation of the characters' relationships. Okay,